Hello, welcome back to my channel. You might be able to hear in my voice. Actually, no, my voice feels normal all of a sudden. I came down with some kind of virus or flu a few days ago, and it has completely wiped me. And honestly, I can't remember the last time I felt that floored from feeling sick. I don't know what it was exactly, but it was like the flu, and which I wouldn't expect to get in Bali, but I'm still like feeling it now, and I'm definitely through the worst of it. It has been nearly a week, and like a couple of days ago, it got to the point where I hadn't left the house in a few days. I was just literally under the duvet. And you know it's bad when you can't even bring yourself to turn on the TV or even look at your phone. It's just like, I just need to ride this out. And yeah, now I'm feeling much, much better. And I know I'm like over it. It's just like recovering now. And yesterday got out and about, definitely felt so much better. Today, I feel like I want to touch wood and just say I feel somewhat normal, which is great. I'm still like getting these sweats though, like every now and again it comes in waves, or I'll just like suddenly start sweating like crazy, but that will pass too. Oh, I'm going to film, by the way, for the next like few days. So I'm just going to piece this together, like a few clips over the next few days. And so this will be like a vlog of a few different things, but just quickly, I feel like it was kind of unfortunate timing with getting sick, because it really should be a time that I really wanted to be celebrating. And so basically, when was it? It was Sunday last week. It's now Thursday. So Sunday last week, I hosted my first public online yoga class. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that I've wanted to do this for so long, and there has definitely been a fear in me holding myself back, and to overcome that fear has felt like such an incredible like turning point, and something to be celebrated. So in the days leading up to this yoga class, I was feeling so nervous, like, oh my gosh, I can't remember like feeling nerves like that. Like, you know that feeling before an exam when you know everything, and you know you've done everything that you can, but there's still this like niggling feeling inside of like, I had that, like real butterflies in the stomach. And with that, I started feeling something coming over me, like I was just a bit run down, I think. But I was like, no, we're holding this together. We are absolutely doing this. Like, body, please bear with me. Just hold on till Sunday. We can do this. Like, can you imagine if I had to cancel my first yoga class after all that? So I was like, no, we're doing it. Anyway, the class itself went so unbelievably well. Like, I honestly, like when I think about it, I want to do it again. Like, I just want to do it immediately again. It was 90 minutes, which was quite ambitious for like my first one, but there was so much that I wanted to share and for everyone to experience. So it was 60 minutes of yoga, and it was nice, gentle, at times got a bit more like energetic, but I kept it quite simple. And then went into some pranayama breath work that I learned in India that I love to do when I'm here. And then after that, I opened it up at the end to, I called it mat talk. It was like a discussion where we opened up the theme of the class, which was all about letting go of fear and converting fear into something that really serves. And often, you know, like, courage can't exist without fear. So it's not that we need to completely demonize fear at all. Like, fear is just as valid as any emotion or experience in the body, but it's when fear holds us back from something and really prevents us from moving forward, that's when we can really find awareness and acceptance of that fear and transfer it into something like courage or compassion or self-love, finding kindness within ourselves, for ourselves and others. And so the whole theme of the class was that, and had a lovely conversation at the end. And it was wild. As soon as I closed my laptop and the class was over, that's when my head just started pounding with this mad headache, and it just came on instantly. And it was quite incredible to observe how my body had held it together for something that I'd been planning for so long, to then be like, okay, you're done now. You said we had to hold it together for your class. Well, now you're done. Here you go. And it was just full flu there and then, that night, straight in bed, duvet over my head. And it's been like that for the last few days. But luckily, through the worst. But isn't that fascinating how the bodies work? Quite often you hear people who are working so unbelievably hard and they have to hold it together, even if, they feel like they're a bit run down. There's no opportunity to be sick, there's no time. And so when you go on holiday or take a break of any kind, that's when your body can relax and actually be sick. And I think it's so sad that you go on holiday and then you get sick. That's your break. That's something to really enjoy and something you've been so looking forward to doing. And then your body feels like it's time to be sick. But it's so interesting how the body works like that, I find. A friend actually shared with me something interesting in terms of the energetics of it. She was like, well, maybe with you stepping into this new chapter, your body is also energetically clearing itself of what's no longer serving it, maybe it's fear, maybe it literally is the theme of my class. And it's my body, it's no coincidence that I got sick around this time, this transitional period, I suppose. Quite often that happens, I think, when you're going through, when you're about to embark upon a new journey or a new chapter in life, quite often something will happen where it's a real cleansing, it's a real purging almost of the past so that you can step forward. I just thought that was such an interesting perspective of that, and definitely made me feel a bit more positive about being sick after my yoga class. But yeah, that was such a lovely feeling to be doing what I love and sharing what I've learned on Sunday. And now that I'm feeling better, it's time to celebrate. And I'm also going to plan more going forward. So if you're interested, I would absolutely love for you to be there and keep your eyes peeled. And I will announce when I'm going to be doing this. I'd love to do it more frequently, maybe every couple of weeks, and have a different theme to the class. And I think it'll be lovely. It's just what I love doing, and it's part of my personal practice. So it was such a beautiful time. And even though obviously I've had this online following for so many years, this was the first time that I felt like I was really vulnerable in sharing something so personal. And also one of the first times that I was able to directly communicate with my audience. At the end, I could welcome people onto the screen with me and we could have a chat about the class, about yoga. And the feedback was so unbelievably heartwarming. And even after all these years online, years and years and years on YouTube, on Instagram, it's funny how something as simple as hosting an online yoga class could have such an impactful feeling. For me, bringing my community together. So yeah, it was such a great feeling. Anyway, I am going to a beautiful place called Revivo, and it's here in Bali, in Nusa Dua, which is down in the south near Uluwatu. If you know Bali, it's right down in the south, in the bottom tip. Would tip mean the top? No, it's the most southerly point of Bali. And I've never been there before. It's funny how it all worked out. Basically, I met a lovely girl here near where I live, and she said, oh, my friend would love to invite you to this place, like check it out, let me know what you think. I had a look, I was like, this is so beautiful and absolutely something I know I'd love. And it kind of just all flowed from there, like really, really natural. And so I'm going to check it out today, and I'm staying there for 3 nights. What a dream, what a dream. You know, this has come at the best timing as well, having been in bed, like having gone from something that felt so like exciting on Sunday to then immediately feeling sick and being in bed ever since, to then now finally feeling better and being able to go to this beautiful place. And it's a retreat hotel, so I chose to do the sleep well and reset retreat, because obviously like after the week I've had, I was like, I would love to just sleep and enjoy. Oh my gosh, I've been filming for 11 minutes. Well done if you're still with me, rambling away. So yeah, that's what the next few days has in store. Just very relaxing, peaceful Bali retreat. And do you know what the funny thing is? I haven't done any wellness retreat in Bali, which is wild considering that's why most people would come to Bali for the incredible retreats here. I genuinely have heard that they are the best in the world. So yeah, it's kind of surprising that I haven't done a full like proper retreat here. But yeah, even more reason to be really excited to go and relax and yeah, feel pampered for a few days and get my energy back. I am like, yeah, I'm sweating again now. Time to go outside. Actually, no, it's even hotter outside. Time to put the aircon on. Look at how fluffy my hair goes in Bali. It's so funny. If I don't put oils through the ends, I use like argan oil, but I haven't obviously for the last few days. Yeah, it just goes super, super fluffy like this. But the argan oil is amazing. It works so quickly. I might have to go and put some through at the end now. All right, I'm going. I'm here at Revivo and it's quite remarkable. As soon as I arrived after quite a long journey, I just felt the peace here. It's a very calm, peaceful space, and I guess that's to be expected, right, with a retreat space, but it's so quiet, like just the sounds of the birds. And I've been given my 3-day program, which sounds absolutely divine. I actually arrived and immediately had a massage, which was incredible. Like to arrive in a place and then immediately be ushered into the spa. And, you know, before I even knew where I was having a massage. And I've only been back to the room like very briefly, but I've come to explore and just explore the grounds. It's lovely. Really, really lovely and so well timed. Having been cooped up in the villa for the last few days, to be here is really, really special. When I was a little girl, I used to spend so long observing all the nature in water like this, like rock pools, ponds, anything. I absolutely loved looking for frogs, tadpoles, fish, anything that moved, creepy crawlies. And I think it's because my nanny used to live near a park in Brighton where they always had frogs and tadpoles, and it was just my favourite thing. So yeah, I know younger me would have been in her element. I mean, I'm in my element right now, to be honest. Oh my gosh, it just gets better and better. Look at these water lilies. Wow, I am actually speechless. And the temple in the background. Oh my gosh. They are absolutely beautiful. Isn't nature just incredible? Welcome to the room. When I first got here, I thought this was like another reception area, but turns out it's actually the room. It's unbelievable. Oh, look at that. And we have the pool over there on the left. I'll show you out here real quick. I don't know why I'm speaking so quietly. It's like, it's so unbelievably peaceful here that I just am automatically keeping my voice down. So here's the bedroom. Very, very comfortable bed with the door to the pool on the other side. And then I just want to show you this. Look, there's an outdoor shower. And let's see if I can open this. There we go. And a pond, which I'm so happy about. Oh, it's so lovely. Oh, and how can I forget the bath? This is like absolute heaven. I haven't had a bath yet. And I was thinking last night, okay, I'll have a bath, but it looks way more magical in the daytime when all of this is open and you can see the beautiful nature outside. So I think it's more of a morning and afternoon bath than an evening bath. Okay, so I had my assessment this morning and it measured body composition, and it was quite interesting, the results that came back. So generally speaking, everything is a bit low in and under, so I need to increase my bone mass, my muscle mass. I mean, not the biggest surprise, right? That's all I've got right now. And put on a bit of weight in general. It's interesting though, because in my body I know that things have changed, and I was kind of, more recently I've been very aware of my body is changing, it's kind of adapting. And I was like, I'm 32 now, so of course my body is not going to be what it was when I was 22, right? But actually, the more body awareness that I have gained, I would say particularly over the past year, which is still quite recent, the more I've actually come to really appreciate my body. I'm so proud. I was like, I'm feeling like I'm finally, for the first time in my life, learning to love my body, which is incredible at 32, right? Because my body's different. It's not as lean as it used to be, and I used to definitely have more muscle. I used to have abs. But back then, I didn't love my body. And it's really odd now that I'm thinking about it, the more lean that my body was, and this almost stronger, like physically stronger my body was, and having abs and things and like a perky bottom, muscly arms, the more pressure I put on myself, and the less I think I actually liked my body, because it was always like there was another goal to get to. And I used to, if you've been following me for a while, when I was living in London, I had such a strict workout routine, and I would do all kinds of HIIT workouts and run for like 20 kilometers and always try to beat my personal best. And I think there are such positives to that, in that I had such an energy, such a focus, such strong willpower, and was to a degree really looking after my body, but at the same time was also putting my body under quite a lot of stress. And I think the key thing is that I wasn't really appreciating my body. I didn't ever thank my body or feel well accomplished. Whereas it's only like in recent times that I think I've really slowed everything down. I do yoga, like literally my workout. It's not a workout though, it's more for my mind and my spirituality, my connection, but it's yoga. Like that is what I do right now. And so my body has changed. I'm not as like physically strong or as lean or have the abs or all of that, but it has brought this newfound love and appreciation and gratitude. It all comes down to gratitude. After a yoga practice, I think I'm so lucky to have a body that moves. And it's like the physical side, like the aesthetic side, or like the shallowness of how my body looks, doesn't matter. It's like I just moved my body for an hour and I moved in a certain way, and how grateful I feel to be able to do that. That this the idea of, does my body look good enough? Just there's not a lot of space for that anymore. Like there's not a lot of space or capacity for that in my mind anymore, which I think is a brilliant thing. But it was interesting having this body composition this morning, where I can actually see the data. Like there's actually proof of like, okay, my muscle mass is actually a little low. I do need to work that up, and I need to start upping my protein a little bit, hydrating more. So that was really useful for me to be like, okay, let's come back to the science and actually appreciate the value of having this data of like, okay, I love my body, I appreciate my body, but there's always like space to acknowledge where I can improve my health. And so no, that was a really healthy reminder, I think, for me, of like, okay, let's up my protein, let's maybe start including some weight training, because weight training is really good for our bones, especially as we get older. I know lots of you are the same age as me. Like generally when I look at my age demographic on YouTube, it's pretty much like my age. It's anywhere from like, I think, I can't remember off the top of my head, but let's say 25 to 45, but the biggest is like 30 to 35, which is like where I am. So I think that's quite for me, I love that the majority of my audience are generally women who are a similar age, and there's something interesting about turning 30, right? Things just start changing, and it's like, my energy isn't quite what it was, my body's starting to adapt, but again, all things to feel grateful for. It's all part of the aging process. Not that we're old by any means, but yeah, 32, eh? What a journey. I feel like I've lived a million lives. 32, but yet I feel like there have been like a million different versions of me, which I'm sure many of you can resonate with too, right? It's like, And I think that's something to not feel bad about. Often this phrase of like you've changed is negative. I think it's one of the biggest compliments you could give someone. You've changed, you've evolved, you've grown, you've transformed. What a blessing. It shows that all of the teachings and the journey that you've been on has transformed you into something new, which obviously isn't always a good thing, but hopefully, fingers crossed, you're evolving into a newer version that is more full of love and strength and stepping more into who you really are. And I think our 20s, this is becoming somehow quite a profound chat. I do not know how this has come to this, but I'm going to wrap this up. But I personally feel like our 20s are about us trying on different hats of like, ooh, I could be this person. I'm going to try this out for a little bit. This feels good. But then it gets to a point where it's like, okay, I'm kind of done with that. I'm going to try on the next hat. And we're kind of like testing out the waters. And I think that's all part of life's evolution of like understanding who we really are. And for me, my 30s so far have been about really stepping more into who I really am in my heart center. Like, who am I really? And it's not that I was pretending to be someone else or I was avoiding being the real me. It's that I think it just takes time to fully meet yourself. And we need the experience of life to get there. And everyone's on their own journey. Everyone's on their own timeline. You might meet someone at 18 years old who is so like, they know themselves and they are like so on their path. And then you might meet someone who's like 65 and they're discovering who they really are then. I also think this happens multiple times throughout our lives because we do constantly evolve and grow. So maybe it will be a constant process of meeting yourself again. And I think it's a case of really accepting that and not fighting it and not judging yourself or others for that journey. Yeah. I don't know how I got onto this. Honestly, these are the kinds of chats like with my friends, and if we get going, deep, profound chats. What is the meaning of life? Why are we here? What's our purpose? I think that all comes when you start connecting into your heart. Yeah. For the last hour or two, I've just been sat here in this little booth. I fell asleep, which was so nice. I can't remember the last time, you know? Actually, other than being sick the last week, but the last time in such a peaceful environment like this, where I've just napped. So lovely. And there's not many people around. It's really nice actually that it feels like there are very few rooms. So I imagine even at capacity it still feels like this, just very, very quiet, very peaceful. And this is my view. Okay, so last night I went to, I think, my absolute all-time favourite live music event / experience of my life. So you're going to see that now. 3, 2, 1.
Alright, Bali, on the count of three. One everyone to jump. You ready? 1, 2, 3, jump!
So I went to see last night Xavier Rudd, and there are 3 songs of his that I adore, and I'm familiar with them. But other than that, I wasn't too familiar with the rest of his music or him as an artist. So I kind of went into this event somewhat blind, but knowing that I definitely love his voice and a couple of his songs. I feel like last night was the absolute definition of being blown away. I arrived at Uluwatu Surf Villas, and the location and the setting was absolutely exceptional. This hill, like quite a steep hill, overlooking the cliffs and the ocean with the stage right there. So everyone just arrives at like 4:30, late afternoon time. You bring a picnic rug, you just lay out your rug and sit down and just chill. And they had a couple of bands before Xavier Rudd came on who were brilliant. And I'd actually seen one of the bands at a wedding quite recently here in Bali. And it was just this magical feeling of like, this is why I'm here, with really lovely, beautiful people. And I mean beautiful inside and out. Just lovely, kind people. The environment was friendly, warm, welcoming, loads of families, kids running around. You've got like the surfers, the yogis, like just all these people coming together to watch music. And I think there's nothing like music to bring people together, right? But this setting was just exceptional, absolutely exceptional. And so then when Xavier Rudd came on and he started performing and sharing his music, I again was blown away. His voice really spoke to me. Like, he's got this beautiful, like quite deep voice. But it's his words, his lyrics, his message, the intention that is so clearly there behind his music. And immediately what was coming to me was how this is high vibrational music, right? And something that I personally have been doing over the last few years has been really curating my music in terms of what I'm consuming. And so often, unfortunately, the music that we're consuming completely unconsciously, you know, it's just always there playing in the music in our around us, is feeding us quite negative emotions through negative words. And words carry a huge amount of significance and power on the impact that they have on us. And even if we're unconsciously listening to these words and then singing those words back, we're creating, I believe, quite a negative, energetic field. And so something that I recognized was happening, I just decided, I was like, do you know what? I really want to listen to really beautiful words, really uplifting. It's almost like listening to mantra or listening to positive affirmations, but in the form of really lovely music. And there's so many artists out there that are putting out incredible works in this space, old and new. And you'll know, like you'll just feel, it's a feeling, like Prince, for example. Beautiful music, high vibration, like absolutely like his work is magic. So yeah, something that was consciously coming to me over the last few years is like really curating my Spotify playlists that were very like lovely to listen to. And Xavier Rudd's music is definitely in those playlists as well. But seeing him perform and observing how he performed last night really made me realize how it was really heartwarming, really, to see that there are artists out there now who are really conscious of this. And he's a really special person. He's doing such great work, not just with his music, but last night's event, for example, was all proceeds, 100% proceeds, went to a environmental organisation out here called Sungai Watch. And Sungai in Balinese means river, so it's River Watch. They're an incredible organisation. That's a whole other topic. But Sungai Watch are doing great work here, clearing up the rivers that are often polluted. And so 100% of the proceeds last night went to Sungai Watch. And just hearing the way that he was speaking about humanity, about the world, about what's going on in the world, the way that he seems like he's really giving back, I found it incredibly inspiring. And heartwarming that there are people here on our planet doing such great work in their various fields, and his music. So I encourage you to listen to his music, listen to his words. And last night was just such a magical experience, and I feel so grateful to have been there. And again, it was such like a reaffirming reminder as to why I found myself here. And yeah, I just wanted to share what last night was all about. Also so ideal that it was only a 20-30 minute drive from where I am here in Revivo, so that worked out so perfectly. And it was a really small event last night as well. It wasn't like thousands of people. It was really small, families, kids, just, yeah, picnics. It was really sweet. It was so sweet. I loved it. And then, yeah, this morning I've had really interesting chats. I had breakfast and met this really interesting man. He's an older man in his 70s with a fascinating life, and we got chatting about the film industry, but most notably more independent artistic movies. And again, this is very aligned with what I'm sharing now about music. The two go hand in hand: music, movies, art. It's all art. It's all a creation. And as you know, I love art. I love, but you might not know that I love these independent movies. And that came with when I was curating my music. I was like, well, the same goes for movies. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect here at all. I still love a Hollywood blockbuster movie every now and again. I haven't gone Hollywood teetotal. I still have a Netflix account, still watch my series like that. You know, I'm not perfect by any means, but it's more that I'm more aware of what I'm consuming. And yeah, we were just having this chat this morning about how Hollywood churns out the cookie cutter movies where there's little, I'm gonna upset quite a lot of people when I say this, but I feel the way that the movie industry has progressed to where it is now, there's little art involved and there's little heart involved. Like, where's the heart and soul that goes into the creativity of movie making? And it's become this multi-trillion-dollar industry, obviously, where it's all about the best return. And you'll notice, like most Hollywood movies, they're a cookie cutter of the same. And we were just chatting about the beauty of the older, more independent movies. And we bonded over the same favourite movie. He actually has a different one, Solaro, by a Russian filmmaker, which I'm not familiar with. Or was it Solaris? I think it's Solaris. I haven't seen it, and it's on my list, and I would love to see it. But my favourite movie is La Grande Bellezza, which is... it's such, like, I get goosebumps when I think about La Grande Bellezza. It's a beautiful movie, and I only watched it for the first time during lockdown, which is when I started discovering these more independent European movies. And they just break free from the chains and restraints of Hollywood. And I think La Grande Bellezza was made in the 70s. But it's a beautiful story of a man who is reaching the end of his midlife. So it's not like a midlife crisis. I think he's more in his like 60s. And it's a story that brings such joy. It feels so uplifting, but at the same time so sad, and feels incredibly nostalgic. And the cinematography of that movie is so beautiful. And yeah, there's something about it. The intro I remember so clearly, of just, without even knowing what the movie was about, I was like, oh, I love this movie already. Just felt very nostalgic. It's set in Rome, but I highly recommend. I guess what I'm sharing right now is a few things. I highly recommend you to listen to Xavier Rudd's music. You'll know one of his songs, Follow, Follow the Sun. You know it? That's like his most popular one. And then the second thing I'm encouraging is for you to maybe explore the lesser known movies that are out there that are pure art. La Grande Bellezza is one, so I highly recommend you watching that. And the other thing that I would love to share is how sometimes we meet people and we can meet strangers who remind us of a part of ourselves that may have been forgotten. And I think that is the magic of encountering new people. And I suppose there's an opportunity in every single moment, with every single encounter, with every single stranger that you meet. There's an opportunity there for something. And that might be to express kindness or compassion, but it might also be an opportunity to remind yourself of a part of you that maybe you have shut off recently. And the reason I say that is because this conversation over breakfast with this fascinating man, and we were chatting about the movie industry, art, music, it reminded me how much I loved that period of my life when I started discovering these independent movies, and how much I love exploring art, but most importantly, how much I love talking about art. I think that is what art is. It's the conversations that come from consuming it, because art really is, it's this moment where it brings out interesting conversations, and you can all have a different perception and interpretation of the same thing. And that's why I love art of all forms, because you can have the art and then a million different opinions and interpretations of that. And I think that is the purpose of it all. So yeah, maybe today you'll meet a stranger, and I encourage you to take a moment to see maybe what the magic is in that. And it might even be a smile. So yeah, today it's time to leave Revivo, and I don't know if you can tell, but I feel like I'm leaving already in a very different energy. I arrived feeling quite sorry for myself, having been cooped up for a few days, and this has been pure bliss, and I feel really, really happy for my time here. It has been peaceful, blissful, but has also introduced me to interesting people. I've had delicious, healthy food. I've been doing yoga and Pilates, and I think the most important thing is actually just having the time and space to come back to myself. So yeah, I'm leaving feeling really good, really grateful, healthy, revived, reset. And also the pillows here, I think, are the comfiest I have ever experienced in my life. So yeah, the retreat, in terms of it being a sleep well retreat, was perfect. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this here, and I'm sending you so much love. Thank you for watching. Mwah.